You're so cute. Yes, you are.
Oh, you're such a cute puppy. You're such a cute puppy. Yeah, you're so cute.
So, my grandparents are moving out of their farmhouse, which is like 120 years old. Right as I start filming, really? So, me and my sisters and the rest of their grandchildren all got to pillage their house of stuff because they're downsizing to an apartment. So I wanted to go through my findings. This is all of the non-sensitive information. I'm going into electrical work, so I found this electrical wiring guide back from like the 60s, which I think is really super cool. It's very old, and I'm probably going to put it in... Hang on. I'm gonna actually do that right now. But I have these comic book sleeves that I put my comic books in, so I'm just going to put that in here right now. Just sort of. I know it's probably really important, but I also want to make sure that this book does not get too... Then I need to make sure of that. Alright, there we go. It is now sealed in plastic somewhat. I'll try to find a better situation for it, but this is how it's going to sit on my shelf for now. I might go through it and just see how much is actually still relevant, and if you could still use anything from that book. I also found this really old map that I'm planning on getting a frame for to sit on my wall. But this is a really old, just sort of general map of the area around where the house is. It's super cool. I'm not recognizing... Well, I recognize some places on here. I find maps in general really cool. I have a ton of them from every place that I've ever been on vacation. And it's really exciting to find like old maps and stuff. Big map enthusiast. So that I will be framing pretty soon, probably this next weekend. I found a really cute apple pot holder in one of the boxes full of like really old linens. This is from 2000, so one of the newest things that they got when they were alive. And then this used to be an earring, but I'm gonna try and figure out how to attach it to like a tie clip or something so it sits down on a tie, because I think that would be really cute. I love the way these flowers look. They look very elegant. And then there's there's a bunch of hide. I don't know from what animal. I assume this is genuine leather. Well, I know this is genuine leather, but I assume this is from an animal that he actually like skinned and killed, because they were... My great-grandfather was a really big hunter, so I assume this is from an actual animal that he took down. But I'm going to use this leather and try to make a sheath out of this for this knife. This is one of his old hunting knives. The shape I really think is cool, So I'm going to try and remove the rust and put some like resin around the handle to fill up all of these cracks that you see, and just kind of give it a new life almost. It's really heavy compared to anything else that I've ever held. So I'm super excited to fix this up. Along with other cool things that I found. I don't know when this is from. It says V-1943. It could be that old, but an old orange crush bottle I think is really cool. I'm just in love with this obscure history stuff, so finds like these I think are absolutely amazing. These are things that my grandparents had. There's like 9 of us children, so I got to take home a bubble gun, which I'm super excited to turn on and wave around this summer. This I find is super cute. It is a Tupperware container, a mini Tupperware container that goes on a keychain, and I think this is adorable.
Yeah, it's your size. It's your size, teach me. Yeah, it's your size. Cute little puppy.
This is another thing that belonged to my great-grandparents who lived in the same house. It is a egg grading scale. I'm not planning on having chickens for a long while yet, but I think raising chickens would be really cool. So having this as like a future investment, I think is awesome. We did test it and it's up to Canadian egg regulations still. I think that's super cool. But yeah, also going to fix this up and maybe give it another coat of paint just to sort of like give it a new life. Another thing that I found that I was in desperate need of is this really cool wallet. So it's got a couple of like see-through pages, card pages here, and then both a zipper and cash pocket in the back. So I'll clean this up and start using it because I think this is really cool. In a random box, I found a couple of bullets that I'm planning on emptying out and turning into matching necklaces for me and my boyfriend. They're 2 different calibers. This one says 303 SAV, and this one says 3030 WIN. I have no idea what either of those mean, but I'm wondering if I can find some way to like drill a hole in the bottom maybe, so that it can still have the bullets, just remove the gunpowder. But we'll see. We might have to just remove the bullets altogether. I'll put some sort of crystal in the tips instead. This, I found a lot of really cool dishes. I have like this Lazy Susan sort of spinning one where there's a bunch of little plates that I think is going to be amazing for things like game night and Christmas. And this is another one of those dishes that sort of matches. So I found a lot of really nice dishes. This one just soft, almost see-through yellow drape thing. I don't know what I'm going to use this for, but it's really soft. I like the feel of it on my skin, and I will be washing it. Speaking of knives, because there was a few knives, I actually got a bunch of paring knives that came out of a box, and I'm going to use them to cut pickles because I cut a lot of pickles. I eat a lot of grilled cheese. But this is also another knife that I think is really cool. I think the sheath is really cool. what I'm gonna use this for, probably just decoration. I don't have a ton of use for knives, but the sound of the sheath is really cool. So I'm probably gonna just use that for decoration. This is a random ass container that has like a screw-on lid. It's pretty small, but it's like nice and hefty. I have no idea what I'm gonna put in there, but I think it looks really cool. It's giving off some like marble Greek architecture of some kind. And then this is a matching set. It is my great-grandmother's brush and mirror. I'm gonna clean them both up and see if I can replace the mirror part inside of here. I doubt it. I probably won't be able to, but it's still really cool pieces and you can still use it. I don't know, maybe I'll crack it a little bit more and use it as like a set piece in a future project. But it's really cool. Alright, what else do we got in here? We got this old stag hair oil that I'm probably going to drain out of here, but I'm gonna like take the stuff off and use the bottle for something else because it's a really cool glass bottle. I've got no use for hair oil and it smells like old people, but I will definitely be reusing the bottle for something else. This is an old lighter that I found. I think it's really cool. It's currently out of fluid and stuff. It seems like it doesn't come up high enough. But who knows. So I'm gonna refill this with the needed substance. But yeah, I really like cool and different lighters, and I've certainly never seen a lighter like this. It kind of looks like wood, which I really like. Kind of matches the aesthetic of my background. It's got something engraved on the bottom. It's from 73. That's what it says. It's from 73. So pretty old. This is just a random lock that I found that I'm gonna try and practice lock picking on. And then an old Tylenol bottle. Again, this goes along with the Orange Crush bottle where I just absolutely love random, obscure, old history stuff. And just seeing the difference between the Tylenol bottles from back then versus now. I'm gonna, next time we empty an extra strength bottle, I'm gonna get one of those and have like a side-by-side comparison. But it's really cool just seeing this old, what it used to look like back then versus now. And then this is a, you okay? Hi.
Come with your snot. Yeah, snot on potch. Oh, you're so cute. Such a cute puppy. Yeah, you're such a cute puppy.
So this is just a ceramic like keg jar that has a cork in it. I believe Yorkton is where they used to live at one point. But I think this is really cool. I know where Yorkton is, so that's kind of why I have it. Still not sure if I should paint over it. Probably not. I'll just have it to the other side, but the jar itself is pretty cool. I really like the look of this. And then this is a tobacco box. I believe it's chewing tobacco, but I'm gonna clean out the inside and actually turn it into a ring box because I don't have many rings, so they're all just gonna sit inside here. Probably gonna fit because my fingers are small. Random sharp pins and stuff, but I have two of these. I have a green one and I have a blue one. These used to be ashtrays, but I think they're really cool colored glass, and you could put a bunch of little things in here. I'm always finding little things, so I currently have one full. Oops. So I currently have one on my shelf that's full of like little screws and stuff. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna put in here. Probably like coins or something, random change. And then this. So inside here was actually a $1 bill. Oh, I can't remember where I put it. But Canada used to have $1 and $2 bills, and I've been looking for some to put into my collection of old stuff. So it's really cool that I have now a $1 bill in my collection. But this is 100% pure bottled rye, like the actual grain, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know if this was from like a certain harvest or something, but I think it's pretty cool. Then I found a one-hole puncher. Here it is. So I have this really weird binder that's hard to put stuff in. So cutting pages down and then doing custom hole punches is going to be really good, specifically for this binder. That's why I took it. So here we have a really cool mug. I absolutely love the color of it. And it's just the best thing I've ever seen in the world. I have no idea what I'll use it for because I don't drink coffee, so I've got no idea what I'm gonna do with this, but I really like the color of it, so I'm going to add it to my collection of random things.
Just sit down, honey. Have her sit. Good girl.
And then I found this whole box of paper clips with how much I use paper. I'm definitely going to be using these, and that's been super nice. I found a pair of shoelaces. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the shoelaces. Probably use them in actual shoes, cause this stuff is old, and the old stuff is always made to last instead of to always get new stuff. So anything old that I can find that I can replace my new stuff with, I'm going to be using. This is an old pocket knife. Again, I'm going to be removing the rust and stuff, but it's just nice and smooth and streamlined. It feels really good in the hand. So I'll probably be using this for don't know what I would use a pocket knife for, probably to open boxes or something. This adorable pack of cards that has a kitten on the back. I got it mainly because there's a kitten on the back. Who doesn't like that? This is what I don't know. So this is a box of dice, and a lot of the sides are faded, but they got like Jack or King or Queen on them. Or this one is 10 of Diamonds, and I don't know what this actually is, but I found them really fascinating. Like I said, a lot of the stamps are like rubbed off, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like restore that at all, but I would certainly like to try. And then, since I've been sewing a little more, found a bunch of snaps and a button, so that's exciting. Back to a pin. And then we have these. A really cool butter knife. I found a bunch of different, just random, everyday utensils that are way different than the ones in the drawer, and it drove my mother insane. I'm very happy about it. I'm here to bring chaos to her life. This is a sharpening block for knives. I have no idea what the, I think it's called a whetstone. I really have no idea how to use it, but I'm going to learn, and I'm gonna see if it works on any of the knives that I have here. This, another tie clip that is super cool. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm a big fan of gold. I'm probably gonna use this or the one that I got in a photo shoot for my author's photo. That'd be super cool. And then the last thing. This, I believe, was my grandfather's, but it's a pair of binoculars that work super well. I don't really go outside, but I think this would be great for bird watching when I finally move out of the house and go somewhere where there's more birds around. But I love binoculars. I'll probably take them on every trip outside of this house, actually this city, just to go look at stuff. I love binoculars. And now, that's all that just fits in the box. You saw a couple of restoration projects, the chewing tobacco box, the egg, the knife. But now, here comes the big projects that I'm going to be doing later in the future, probably early next year. So I got this bottle. This is a giant bottle of Canadian whiskey, except it's empty. I don't know if you can see that, but it's empty. So, I'm gonna figure out something to turn this into. It's gonna be, it can't be really anything liquid inside. I'm probably just gonna like clean off the cap here, and just use it as a decoration. Cause this is a, well, I'll probably like add a clear coat to the top of this, top of everything, because it is not protected in the slightest. But this is really cool. It's really oversized, and I think it's so funny. But then I found this. This is a old gas lamp. So what I'm planning on doing is removing the stuff inside here. I'm gonna see if I can drill a hole through that and then put something in the bottom, and I want to turn this into electric. And you can put like a light bulb in there so that you can, and then use this. I'll have something coming out the side right here so you can dim it, and I'm super excited to try that. Again, I want to go into electrical work, so doing small projects like that would be great practice for hooking up light switches and all of that stuff. Again, same kind of thing that I want to do here. This is a kerosene only gas lamp. The red glass here I think is super cool. I have an electric version of this already that I got. Right here, this is the electric version. It's kind of the same. It's a lot smaller, but that's what it looks like when it's turned on. So I kind of want to do the same kind of thing with this one and with the red glass. It's gonna look super cool. I'm not sure about like what bulb I'm gonna use, because this is just, if you look inside here, it's just like fairy light kind of things. So we'll see if I can do the same kind of thing in here and still make it look like a fire. It might just be like a light. And then the last and most challenging one that I found is this. I have no kind of idea what oil was inside here, but this was the valve, and you can see like it would pump up here and down here into wherever. I assume because of this, the thing just sat like in between here. I have no idea what this thing was, but even if I like take this part off entirely and just use this base for the base of a lamp, that's still super cool. There's still a lot of character in this. I am still super excited to restore those things and make them more usable, because let's be honest, who has oil that they can just put inside these things? So I'm gonna restore them so that they're actually usable and probably post them on like Facebook Marketplace or eBay. So we'll see how they turn out. I will be making videos on all of them to document the process of like the cleaning up and stuff for all of this stuff. But yeah, that's kind of everything that I found. I found a bunch of old medical books because my grandmother went to school to be a nurse, and she was a registered nurse as her career, so I have a bunch of her old textbooks. And wow, has medicine changed like a lot since the 70s, which I think is pretty cool. They also are correct in a lot of things. I'm surprised about the stuff that they get right in there. But yeah, that's kind of all there is. I'll catch you on the flip side.